Arsenal are very serious with a super hijack of Liverpool's top target, Romeo Lavia. And also, do not forget that BITTELLO's deal is getting closer every other day, with Thomas Partey heading for an exit to Juventus. We've got quite a lot to talk about. Also, do not forget that David RAYA is yet another football player that we're going to be talking about, as his move is also very close. Quite a big number of superstars to talk about today. Hello everyone, and thank you for being part of the Arsenal chapter. And please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you, as long as this sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. Right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host Abu KALS, as I'm definitely right about here to bring to you the latest trade as it comes in. So I'll be talking about a few of these football players. Really, actually, I'll talk about all the targets. A lot is definitely happening with David RAYA. A lot is happening with BITTELLO, the talented midfielder from Grêmio, Brazilian international, being heavily linked to the club Arsenal. Not forgetting that, despite the fact that he is one that the club has been looking at for some time since the season began, there are also still more football players, heavy links to a couple of football players. And let's get the party rolling. Let's get the party started. So where are you watching from? Which part of the world are you definitely watching from? Make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you right about here. As the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host Abu KALS. So let's get the party rolling. Whom should we start with? Let's start with Romeo Lavia. So we already know that Romeo Lavia has not been, is a new face really to Arsenal's transfers. He was slightly linked to Arsenal before, but not too much, not to the breadth he's been linked now. Arsenal have got very serious with the Romeo Lavia transfer. Liverpool are the club that have already even put in a bid. Liverpool went on and put in the first bid that was around £37 million. And this bid was rejected, and Southampton said they need £50 million, and Arsenal are very much aware that this bid was rejected. So Arsenal have decided to get into this transfer, and definitely this means Arsenal is going to be paying, or actually is willing to pay, more than £37 million, because there is no way Arsenal is going to put in a bid that is lower than that. So I don't think Arsenal is going to match the £50 million that the club Southampton definitely wants, but Arsenal will try to put in a bid, an improved bid in comparison to what Liverpool put in. So we anticipate that it is a 40 plus bid, but it's not going to be 50. So the club Arsenal has already contacted the football club Southampton about the football player to send over everything that is needed for this transfer, and Arsenal can weigh on a few options on whether or not to sign the football player. But Arsenal is very interested in signing Romeo Lavia. Do not forget that Arsenal has already spent £208 million on Kai Havertz, Urian Timber, and Declan Rice, with Declan Rice taking the biggest of portions, which was £105 million. That's quite big money, and at this moment in time, there is an information, there is a piece of information that I got that says that Arsenal is still willing to spend more than 100, actually a fee in a region of £150 million. So that definitely means that Arsenal can comfortably buy Romeo Lavia and possibly 2 or 3 more football players if Arsenal is into it. So let's hope really everything keeps on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as we definitely know that Arsenal is trying its level best to make sure that this summer transfer window can be used to get a few football players and also sell some, as we definitely know that there is a football player who's heading for an exit, and we are talking about Thomas Partey. Let's talk about Thomas Partey before we talk about BITTELLO and David RAYA. So Thomas Partey, in a recent interview, uh, actually the preseason games, in an interview, the manager of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, was asked about the future of the current midfielder at Arsenal, Thomas Partey, and he was crystal clear, and he said Arsenal has no intentions of selling Thomas Partey, despite the heavy links that have been in the media. He rubbished everything, but the pressure on him now has been too much. There's been quite a lot of pressure placed on him and placed on the club Arsenal about Thomas Partey. Juventus have come out and said they are willing to match a price that the club Arsenal will really set for the football player as long as it is reasonable. You will remember that before Juventus really contacted Arsenal about Thomas Partey, and Arsenal said no chance, no way. There is nothing that Arsenal is thinking about as regards selling Thomas Partey. But the pressure has been too much, and the clubs really want Thomas Partey. Saudi Arabian clubs in the Saudi Pro League also contacted Arsenal about Thomas Partey. But Arsenal has not been willing to sell, but the pressure is too much. And at this moment in time, I know it's not good to work basing on pressure, but also Arsenal is trying to get the best of football players, and the fact that Thomas Partey is aging a little bit. I think Mikel Arteta is thinking I can get another young football player that can play possibly much better than him. Why the pressure? So let's hope things go on quite well. Get into the comment section, please, and let us know. Let me know what you think about Thomas Partey. Do you think Thomas Partey should leave the club Arsenal, or he should stay at Arsenal? What do you think Mikel Arteta should do when it comes to the Thomas Partey deal? Should he sell him, or he should definitely not sell him? And also, you can get free to comment about Romeo Lavia and what you think, whether you think Arsenal should have Romeo Lavia or not. Then, yet the other football player that we are talking about a young and talented football player, 23 years of age, and that's none other than the Brazilian international, one of the best midfielders in Brazil, and that is the Grêmio football player, a very good midfielder, BITTELLO, who's been linked to the club Arsenal. He's been linked to the club Arsenal for a while now. Oh, what's happening? So he's been linked to the club Arsenal for a little while, and Arsenal have also responded positively. It is reportedly said that Grêmio said that they need £9 million, and Arsenal did not go in any bidding war, not go into negotiations. Arsenal thinks that the £9 million matches the price of the player, matches the quality and what actually the player will give to the club Arsenal. So Arsenal agreed to pay the £9 million, though it is not yet concluded. It was agreed, but that does not mean that he's already signed for the club Arsenal. So we could definitely be seeing things moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as Arsenal is willing, and this deal is definitely very close. The football star, star. BITTELLO himself would like a move from Grêmio to the club Arsenal. So we do not expect personal terms to be a problem, and we hope that really the club Arsenal can finish up with this deal, get the deal done. £9 million ain't a big deal for the club Arsenal. So let's hope really things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal. Yet another football player that we are going to be talking about. We've talked about Thomas Partey, we've talked about Romeo Lavia, and we've also talked about Mohamed Kudus. Who is there to talk about And we're gonna be talking about we've talked about BITTELLO, PARTEY, Lavia. Then we've got to talk about this football player. Who's he? The goalkeeper from Brentford. And also quite great news about the goalkeeper of Brentford and him moving to the club Arsenal. So the goalkeeper of Brentford goes by the Spanish goalkeeper David Raya. Yeah, so David Raya really is one that has been recently linked to the club Arsenal for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is because Arsenal has been has been looking at an exit of one of the goalkeepers, and they need another goalkeeper. So that definitely means that David Raya comes in a better position. But also, do not forget that David Raya is the first goalkeeper of Brentford. He's getting first team football. There is no way you're gonna bring him to Arsenal and put him on the bench, just like you can bring, like you can bring Okonkwo. Okonkwo has been and he doesn't play quite a number of games. So it will be remembered that despite the fact that all of this has definitely been happening, you cannot bring him and sit him down. And the big reason, and Mikel Arteta actually understands and knows that. So the big reason as to why Mikel Arteta has insisted on signing David Raya is to create competition between the football goalkeeper at Arsenal, number one Arsenal goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale, who's a bit relaxed now because he is number one in the current target, David Raya. So if Arsenal go on and sign David Raya, we could definitely be seeing the two, David Raya and David Raya and who's this? Aaron Ramsdale. David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale fighting for the number one spot at the club Arsenal, and the best could definitely take over. So with Aaron Ramsdale, he's proved himself really. The fact also that Arsenal ended up second in the Premier League, that shows you how good he was. He was definitely very brilliant. It was a very good one. But Mikel Arteta definitely is one that is seeing the future. And if at all Aaron Ramsdale is not okay, what definitely happens? You need a very good goalkeeper in there. And also the fact that Arsenal is going to be playing quite a number of games this coming season. Premier League is starting a few days from now. Definitely Arsenal needs a couple of goalkeepers, not a couple of goalkeepers, a couple of players in different players in different sections, because of the number of games that are involved. They're quite many. So one goalkeeper can probably be in the Premier League, another one can probably participate in the Champions League, another one can participate in another cup. That's how possibly you can interchange and get positive information, get positive results about the goalkeepers and also other players. That's why we've been seeing football players like Mohamed Kudus really being linked to Arsenal. If Bukayo Saka is not playing, he can also come on and definitely play. So let me know between Aaron Ramsdale. I'll pose a question to you. Between Aaron Ramsdale and David Raya, whom do you think should be the number one goalkeeper of the club Arsenal? Between Aaron Ramsdale and David Raya. If you've watched David Raya, he's quite great. He's helped Brentford because Brentford really performed quite well last season. And ever since they moved from relegation, really, not relegation, but EFL Championship, ever since they moved from EFL Championship and they moved to the Premier League, he's definitely been a very wonderful one. And the manager of Brentford really coming out and saying that he is, they have no problem selling him as long as the price is right. That definitely gives the club Arsenal a big chance of sealing this deal. Let us know what you definitely think about the superstars. Let us know what you think about the goalkeepers. Which goalkeeper would you definitely like in your goals as an Arsenal supporter, as an Arsenal fan? Do you want Aaron Ramsdale to keep in the goals of Arsenal, or are you for David Raya? And I think if I say that's what I had for you today, we've been talking about Thomas Partey, we've been talking about David Raya, we've been talking about Romeo Lavia, we've talked about BITTELLO. All of these in just this single podcast. So let's hope really things keep on moving on quite well for the club Arsenal, as Arsenal is trying to make sure that can spend a bit of money, more money. Let's hope really everything keeps on moving quite well for the club Arsenal. Get into the comment section. Let me know what you definitely think about the football players, and you can also let me know whom you think Arsenal should really sign. There is possibly a football player that you've always liked, and you think, oh, I think if this football player really crosses to the club Arsenal, Arsenal would definitely be a great club. He would do much more for the club Arsenal than possibly what we definitely have at the club Arsenal. So let me know who is your favorite signing. You can also give a point about the 3 signings that have already been made. Whom do you think is the best amongst the 3? Is it Kai Havertz? Is it Declan Rice? Or it is the former Ajax Amsterdam football player and good defender Jurien Timber? Get into the comment section and make your comment count. Let us know what you definitely think about this. Otherwise, I think saying goodbye for now. I'll not have done anything bad, but as I told you before, it's been an amazing amazing time talking to you. It's been quite good having a chat right about here. And if I say I love you, everybody, in your respective capacities, keep yourselves safe. This life is too short. Have a nice day. Keep smiling. Do not mind about what other people talk about you. Live your life. Support your club. Be happy. Otherwise, I think I should say thank you and goodbye for now. I remain Abu KALS.